Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we are getting right into the weekly reading for the sign of Virgo. Alright, so this is going to be for November 10th to the 16th, my lovely Virgos. And we're going to get right into pulling out your romance angel messages for the week. And then we'll follow that up with pulling out your animal spirits. All right, and then we'll go into the actual 3-day forecast. All right, guys, we start off with this could be the one. You've already met the romantic partner you seek. We have codependency. First time this has shown up for the weekly readings. Usually it shows up at least once. And we have attraction, right? So the law of attraction is at work right now. You're feeling attractive, right? The law of attraction begins with feeling attractive, right? So you're feeling good in your own skin. You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. So, Virgo, let's get right into your animal spirits. We don't really know what those messages mean for you until we get into your reading. They seem to be very different sort of messages. This could be the one in codependency. So, you know, the right relationship for you is not going to be a toxic one, right? And codependency is a feeling of toxicity. So they are at odds with each other. So let's just see. Animal spirits can come in the form of energies that are being made available to us. They can be stages or paths in our lives that we're about to enter into. Or they can kind of represent characteristics or personalities of people that we are dealing with closely in our lives. So whichever way this resonates with you, if it does, that's fine. And if it doesn't, just disregard. The first animal out is the eagle. Strong, strong animal. All-pervading power, truth seeker in all things, right? The starfish, water energy. Of course, the eagle is air energy. And we have the hawk, more air energy. All right, let's get right into your animal spirits. All right, the eagle. Right away, the eagle, we're talking about all-pervasive power, right? The eagle has mastery over fire and air, right? In this way, the eagle is extremely physically and spiritually strong. And the eagle comes into our lives at a time when we are being challenged to be our best selves. We're challenged to be focused. Oftentimes, there is a karmic sort of storm that is happening, or a karmic test that is happening, in the sense that it takes a lot of strength to be true to ourselves, right? And to be our best selves, right? And being our best selves is what we must do in order not to incur sort of negative karma, right? To incur positive karma and have that beautiful karmic feedback loop, right? But that takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of strength. And it takes a lot of spiritual strength. And so the eagle comes into our lives at a time when things are happening that are calling on us to be very strong, to remain true to our moral center, our spiritual center, and not to be swayed by outside influences, right? It's time to bring your best game. Now, the starfish is an energy of water, and the starfish is a person or an individual who's absolutely gorgeous. A person who resonates with starfish energy sometimes is extremely enthralling, alluring. They're almost, you know, it feels like being in their presence is really exciting, you know, because of their beauty, right? Their beauty, their charm, everything. But starfish individuals oftentimes become reliant on this ability, reliant on this outer power that they have, as it were, with regard to their looks and their ability to sort of influence people with their beauty, to the sacrifice of their true calling, right? So in a lot of ways, starfish energy people, they never find their true calling because they rely on like the shallower side of life, or they rely on the outside layer, right? They rely on their good looks rather than really following their true hearts and their true natures, right? And so in a lot of ways, starfish energy comes in to challenge us in this way, lets us know that it's time to stop pleasing others and being there only for others, and not to rely on how you affect others in that way, but to really get into yourself and find your deeper calling. Now, the hawk comes in our lives when fate has its eye on us. Hawk energy is air energy. The hawk comes into our lives when fate has its eyes on us, because the hawk is always watchful, right? Always watching every step that we make. The hawk can see the big picture as well as all the little details and how they fit into that picture. So oftentimes the hawk comes into our lives and has a message from the divine for us, a message about our fate or our destiny, or what we should be, what we should be doing in some ways, where our path is leading, whatever the case may be, whatever the message is. Oftentimes with hawk energy, it feels like a message from fate, a message from the divine or your destiny coming in. And this is a time when you need to be very watchful about omens, watchful about the different events that happen in your life and the different people that you meet in your life, because there is a message coming into you that is very important about your path, and you have to be ready for it when it comes, right? All right, guys, so let's get right into your 3-card spreads. We're going to pull out anywhere from 4 to 8 3-card spreads, Virgo. And these spreads may or may not resonate with you, and that's fine. Just take what applies to you and throw the rest away. All right. All right, my lovely Virgo. Straight out, we have Empress energy. How many times this week the Empress has shown up right away? First card, first spread. Very interesting. So this is really a week for everyone to be in their feminine, their beauty. By the way, the Empress is Venus, right? And Venus is associated with Taurus. And Taurus, the full moon is in Taurus this week, right? So we're talking about very Taurus energy here, right? Taurian energy coming in a lot of ways to a lot of people. So it's quite... It makes perfect sense for an Empress to be showing up in this way. And with the Empress, we're talking about a heightened sense of beauty, a heightened sense of creativity, right? Sensuality, sexuality, luxuriating in your feminine, feeling good about yourself, feeling sexy, nurturing the mind, body, and soul so that you can be that divine feminine, that beautiful creative creature that you are. And so you're coming into this week with this strong Taurian energy, like so many other signs. I think almost every single sign has had the Empress come in some way or another for the weekly reading. And you are met with an Ace of Pentacles. So an opportunity comes to you, Virgo, that is a golden opportunity, right? And it's quite interesting because this opportunity comes in such a way that you end your week with Judgment. And Judgment, the card Judgment is actually about forgiveness, right? And it's funny because it really should be called the card of forgiveness, but it's judgment in the sense that you wake up to how you've been judging situations, right? How perhaps you've been judging yourself unfairly, and you begin to sort of really, it's not even so much forgiveness, but it's more that you begin to see scenarios and events from other people's point of view. Things have happened since a particular event, right, that has happened. Other things in your life have happened that has begun to make you be more receptive and open your eyes more to different sides of a particular scenario that you were before much more judgmental of, much more critical of. And in this way, you also let go of any misplaced guilt that you've put on yourself. And you also let go. Judgment is about letting go as well. Letting go of these overcritical judgments that we make about people that really keep ourselves also chained, right? In a lot of ways. It's interesting that you come to this as a result of this opportunity. I'm going to say that probably could even be that in some event, right? For instance, an example could be Virgo, that something happened previous, right? That has affected your business in some way, right? And there was perhaps a falling out or a judgment that you made about something. And now this new opportunity coming into you this week, you've realized that perhaps the judgment you made about a previous event was not quite accurate. right? This opportunity coming in also opens up your mind this week to looking back on previous events that have happened with regard to your career and finances and reevaluating those events. Okay, reevaluating those events and reevaluating some of the decisions or judgments perhaps that you've come to. This is all because you are being very receptive. You're coming into the week being very receptive with an open, I'm going to say with your heart chakra probably opening a bit more. The Empress really does talk about the softer side, the more feminine side, the more receptive side of life, and really also attraction in the sense of feeling happier, feeling attractive, and when you feel this way, you are naturally more open and more willing to look at things differently than you normally would be when you are closed off. All right. 8 of Cups, Sun, and 5 of Wands. Some of you entered this week having put boundaries in place in a relationship. You realize that a particular relationship has really been sucking you dry, Virgo. You're done pouring your energy into it. 8 of Cups talks about setting boundaries in your personal relationships because you're done pouring your energy into people who will not return that energy, or into people where it's just wasted. It's just wasted, right? And you feel like, you know what, it's starting to be not even so much that your energy is being poured into it, but it's almost as if they're sucking your energy, and it's time to put a wall up, a boundary up, and say, look, I will no longer allow people to cross these lines with me. People have to live up to these expectations, this expectation here to be with me rather than right here, right? You raise your expectations, and therefore you also take a very intentional step to a raised level of relationship, right? You seek to have a higher level of interaction, a deeper level of interaction, a more reciprocal interaction where you feel the exchange of energy is equal, or it is at least both beneficial. It's beneficial to you and the person you're with. This is the true nature of a good, healthy exchange. And you take every step to working towards that. This is very ego energy in the sense that you are taking an intentional step towards your own personal and spiritual growth. Sun comes in to reaffirm. You get a lot of affirmation this week coming in to reaffirm that this was a correct decision. Could very well be that somebody you decided to turn your back on begins to show their ass in a way this week here with the 5 of Wands, because your 5 of Wands ends out with some more. Interestingly enough, your week ends up with a 5 of Wands. 5 is a power struggle, and there's a lot of bickering. It's funny, though, because the Sun brings with it clarity, and I think what's going to happen is that somebody's going to really show even more of a toxic side to themselves as a result or in response to you turning your back on them. This is a very codependent relationship, and I think what's going to happen is they're going to start a lot of chaos around you. They may start arguments with friends of yours, right, to get to you. They may start, like, some real kind of shitty shit may happen with this person. It's going to be very petty, and it's going to involve a lot of sort of, I want to say sort of showboating, one-upmanship, right? 5 of Wands is that type of power struggle of who's the best, I'm better than you. It's that kind of energy, right? That's what they're bickering about, right? Here, the argument is over who is the best. And that's a very specific energy about 5 of Wands, because, of course, Wands is to do with our ego in a lot of ways, our passions for life, right? And so these individuals are fighting over their own individual passions, right? And that their passions are number one, their passions are most important, right? That's a real specific energy to this card. And so what I say is that this is going to come in response to you kind of laying down the law here. Because 8 of Cups is a real active kind of change to a relationship that we take. It's not just a decision. It's very active. You very much put those walls up, those boundaries up, and you enforce them. And again, the Sun comes in to reaffirm it, but it's not going to be easy. And watch out for somebody who then comes back. This codependent person may indeed come back and start a lot of trouble with other people in your lives to get your attention. So just be prepared. Ace of Wands, Lovers, and Justice. Wow, some of you Virgos have begun a new path in your life. You're about to start a new path, and this path could lead to marriage. right? Could lead to a wedding. Ace of Wands is the beginning of something that is very important to you, that you feel extremely passionate about. It is also the great phallic symbol in the deck. So Ace of Wands can sometimes indicate when you meet somebody, you have an extreme amount of physical attraction with them, right? Strong attraction is here. You're met with the Lover. So not only does it begin with strong attraction, but it comes right in with a harmonious sort of connection. It's not just physical, it's mental, emotional, spiritual, and everything else. It turns out into a justice moment in a sense that you have balance, equity, equality coming in. This is a perfect sort of union. I'm going to say it ends in justice in the sense that you guys decide that this is the one for you. This is very much, this could be the one. Okay, I don't know how else to put it. There's not much else to say about it. This could certainly be the one. And I'm going to say for some of you, this will very much be hawk energy coming in, because this will feel very much like a fated, destined meeting happening this week. 4 of Pentacles, 3 of Wands, and you have Knight of Wands. All right, so 4 of Pentacles talks about feeling like your finances or your stability is being sort of threatened in some way. A lot of times this is the card for greed, but let's look deeper into where this desire for greed comes from. Greed comes from fear, right? It comes from fear of losing or not having enough. And so the essence of 4 of Pentacles, 4 being the number for stability, is that your stability in financial areas is feeling threatened. And so you're beginning to hold on. You're beginning to show miserly sort of tendencies, right? But more than anything, you feel like your finances are threatening. You come into this week with a meeting 3 of Wands energy head on. 3 of Wands is a feeling of being forced to pump your brakes. You're being forced in a way to allow a particular situation to unfold naturally. I think it's also affecting this feeling. You may be feeling very impatient. You may be feeling very irritable and sort of like, you know, I don't know what's going to happen. Very anxious, right? But when 3 of Wands energy comes in, you have to take it as it's very necessary. It's not because you're being forced, right? Life is forcing you to stand still for a minute and take a look at the lay of the land. Things simply need to play out a bit more naturally before you make your next move, right? And so in this way, you're forced to kind of stand still for a second. And the Knight of Wands, you end your week with the Knight of Wands. And I'm going to say a lot of times it's interesting that 3 of Wands will happen and it will come in with a card that usually means the arrival of something, because 3 of Wands often shows up when we are being forced to stop or pump the brakes because we need to wait for someone to arrive. The timing is a little bit off. You know, this is like nature or fate or destiny's way of, you know, adjusting timing, right? When we're being forced to stop something or we're being propelled on, you know, it's because of timing being happening, right? And so this kind of situation of being forced to wait for a minute is really giving it time for this energy to come in. And this could very well be an individual, I want to say, coming into your life who is going to be able to help you with your finances and help you to progress forward, right? The next step in progressing forward is dependent on your finances in any case. And so you need to make sure that the stability is truly there and not being threatened in order to move forward. And this Knight of Wands is going to very much help you with that. The Knight of Wands is very sort of supportive. They're like the great cheerleader, right? They come in and they really help you to reignite your ambition in some way, to begin to move a project along, to begin to move yourself along a path or towards a particular goal or objective, you know. It's a path that's something very important to. It's your ambitious path, and sometimes the Knight of Wands really comes in to kind of stoke that fire and to help you over certain obstacles, right? Knight of Wands is very similar to Eagle energy also. This is a very moral knight. He comes in very much, you know, with support and answers and solutions, but ones that stick to his moral code and centers. Very Eagle energy. Knights are air, Wands are fire. Eagle is master of fire and air. King of Pentacles, King of Wands, and 6 of Swords. I'm going to stop there. Virgo, you come in this week and you meet your alpha match. All right, again, When the two kings, oftentimes when two kings come together like this can indicate an alpha pairing, right? Two people, alpha males, alpha females. It doesn't have to be it could be heterosexual or it can be a homosexual. It doesn't matter. Whatever the connection is, it doesn't matter what your gender is or the connection is. You are both alphas. Okay, you're both alpha individuals, and you come in as the alpha pentacles, certainly Virgo, king of earth, and that is what you are. You come in this week with king of earth energy, and you meet your king of fire, and you guys really come together. Eagle, strong physically and spiritually, right? Pentacles and wands, physical and the spiritual coming together, and you both end this week with a journey towards harmony. Again, this is a master pairing, an alpha pairing, and one in which it's going to be immediate, right? Again, this feels like a very destined meeting, a very fated connection, and this is a power couple, right? But you move very quickly to a decision to stay united, to remain together. It's one of those things, you know, you ever meet somebody, you ever meet a couple, and they're like, they met one night and they've been together ever since. It's one of those. But not only will it be that, but it will be between you and another person who is equal to you, but in a very different essence. They're equal to you, but more in fire. You, of course, are resonating with a strong material energy, abundance, reliability. You are also a great benefactor. Your person is going to be someone who's very creative. It's going to be someone who you can probably champion in a lot of ways. You can help them financially while they pursue a creative track where both of you will be rich together, will be abundant together. This is what I mean by it being an alpha connection. I'm going to say that you two bring together exactly what the other person needs for both of you to have a very harmonious life, and certainly for both of you to continue to be, reign, as it were. Very nice energy, very strong. This could be the one energy, Virgo. I'm going to leave it at that. This is your reading for the week, Virgo. I'm going to say this is a week for you and fate to have a meeting, because a lot of you are certainly going to be resonating with that strong full moon in Taurus energy in your sister sign. And I think for a lot of Virgos, certainly for the ones that are that this reading is geared towards, you guys are really going to be put through a sort of destined or fated sort of experience this week. All right, guys? All right. I hope you enjoyed this. Please like, subscribe, and share. Leave me a comment. I will respond to that. Don't forget to check out your full moon reading as well. I'll put the link at the top of the description. But for right now, I'm going to say, Taurus, have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I shall see you next Saturday for your weekly reading. Bye-bye.